One second, come with us. I will ask something. How's for you? The girls are singing or they're not singing? What?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I don't want to get myself into hot water after, you know?
Absolutely.
Over here, keep happening. take a Yom Tov, a Shabbat, whatever it is. My sweetest friends, if I could ask you, I don't know, I never had the privilege yet of really being by Dovid, I don't know the way he's doing it when he's learning, but without imposing upon you. First of all, could we really have absolutely no talking if possible? And second, don't ask me any questions. Because if you ask me, that means you think I know what I'm saying, and you're asking me. At this point, I don't know myself, I'm just trying to open my heart, whatever comes out. You know, friends, obviously, I need some blessings from you. I have some trouble with my back. But as all of you, your spine should be strong. The spine of every Jew should be strong. The spine of the world should be strong. Anyway, I'm a little healing from Calvin, But besides that, Mamash was in bad shape last week, I was nearly about to cancel my concert. So anyway, Boshem, this one, a Russian Yid, a massage therapist, just fixed me up a little bit. It just was good enough for the concert then and heard again, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, there was this man, he wanted to see my reflexes, he wanted to see if I'm okay. So he had this little barbaric, I'm sure today, a push it on messer, and a knife, and he was just scratching me. It's okay, I'm telling this to you, friends. Obviously, the more you are alive, the more you feel, right? The more you are alive, the more you are sensitive to sadness. A lot of people go to funerals and they don't cry. They think they're so strong, right? Not they're so strong. They're dead, right? Do you think the dead people, when a new customer comes, they're crying? They're accustomed to it. That's all they see, right? A new neighbor, Shalom Aleichem, someone who lives in the neighborhood. You don't even bother asking who he is. Sure, who cares, right? There's so many members there. But anyway, the more dead you are, the less you're sensitive to death, chas v'shalom. And the more you are sensitive, the more you feel it, and also to joy. The more you are alive, the more you feel it. And again, on the other hand, a lot of people go to their own wedding, nothing. Not because they're so bothered, right? Never. They're dead. I've seen people walking with their own children to the chuppah, nothing. I'm sure they get more excited over a kosher Chinese food than over their own daughter's wedding, That's something to feel, right? Just bear with me, friends. I'm telling you, this is Purim Katan. What's Purim Katan? Purim Katan is that in 4 weeks from now is Purim, and it wouldn't be a leap year, it would be Purim. Friends, let me tell you something. You think any other holiday, I'm sure, it's 4 weeks later. What are you questioning now? What are you talking about now? And here in the outset, just bear with me and give me some more energy. You know what Purim is? Purim is we're wiping out our molly. Just give me a chance to talk about everything. Purim is one day when we're wiping out death from the world. Purim is one day when we're wiping out evil from the world. And Purim is so much alive that 4 weeks from now, and I'm already feeling it. I couldn't feel anything else. I barely feel it when it happens. But on Purim, when I wipe out evil, 4 weeks before, I'm already feeling it. I'll tell you something. Imagine, okay, all good people should get married. How do you know how much they really care for their bride, right? If the Chosn walks around and says, exactly 4 weeks from today I get married. He's feeling it already. He really cares, right? 2 months from now I get married. And some people don't know it the day before, right? So mamish tonight, okay, friends, just bear with me and keep it on my heart, friends. Today I'm feeling joy because in 4 weeks from now, on this whole month we're wiping out evil from the world, being alive. Friends, let's go back. I have to tell you a few things that hopefully make sense of you. You know, friends, we are learning so much and it still doesn't help. We are learning so much and we have so much trouble doing it. Friends, we stood on Mount Sinai and 40 days later made the golden calf. What was the problem? The problem was, everybody knows from Meir Shaloyach, it didn't reach deep enough yet. Can't take away Mount Sinai, right? If you and I are a little bit Jewish because of Mount Sinai, right? And yet, it wasn't deep enough. Wasn't deep enough. And here I have to tell you an unbelievable Torah comes from all the rabbis. All the holy rabbis say one thing: is it really possible? 40 days after Mount Sinai and you'll make a golden calf? And the answer is very simple. Because we met Amalek before. Wow. Okay, we won the war, but the vibrations of Amalek. You know, if we would come out from Egypt, can you imagine with how much fire we came out of Egypt? There's how much holiness across the Red Sea, right? There was nothing can stop a Jew being a Jew, right? I can walk in, and if you remember, when we crossed the Red Sea, it was not a day like today. The moment we crossed the Red Sea, it was most probably the greatest tornado ever in the world. The most awesome storm ever in the world. Right? It was gewalt, right? There's no way I can do the other side. Mamish, you can go there, right? There's nothing in my way. The holiness of a Jew, there is nothing in my way. There is nothing in my way. And here comes a Shekoch over there. Amalek comes and he says to you, yes, I know you have plans to go to Mount Sinai. I know you crossed the Red Sea. I know you're in very high moments. But let me tell you one thing. It won't last. And friends, I want to say something. And just open your heart too many times. Do you know why so many divorces are in the world? And I cannot say it's for all, for love. Because I'm sure that during the wedding, someone was standing there and thinking, who knows how much it will last, how long it will last. A little Amalek was standing there and telling them, a little Amalek, how much Amalek do you need? Imagine if all the people who were standing there by the chuppah would swear to them, we swear to you in the name of God that it'll last forever and ever. I'm sure it would. Amalek. And Amalek doesn't have to be very happy. Amalek comes. Says, I don't think it'll last, right? I'm a psychiatrist. I see too many people. I'm a marriage counselor. I'm more realistic than you'll ever know, right? Okay, just remember this. So all the rabbis say, Amalek mamish ruined our matan Torah. Amalek put so many bad vibrations into us, Rabbi saw the Mount Sinai, that because of that, mamish began believing it. And then Moshe doesn't show up. All you need is one little catastrophe. Moshe doesn't show up, the whole thing is falling apart and making golden calf. Okay, now listen to this. Purim, when we wipe out Amalek, everybody knows Kiyum V'Kiyum. On Purim, we receive the Torah like we would have received the Torah on Mount Sinai without Amalek. Gewalt. It's awesome, right? Gewalt is that awesome. Just remember, not on Purim we receive the Torah again of Mount Sinai. On Purim, it's the receiving of the Torah like we would have never met Amalek, like nobody would have ever told us, listen, Jewish people, how long do you think it'll last? You're going to, listen, I see it every day, right? I've been on the plane last time, I saw a father, a mother, 2 children making Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael. How many people, bless them, Mamish told them you'll make it? Humble me and 3 more Hippolach. The rest told them, you really think you're making it? No, face it. And if you come back, I'm worried. What are you talking about? Give them koyach, right? Amalek. Let me ask something else. How many young people today start keeping Shabbos, and instead of giving them strength, the mother calls Miss Fient, the neighbor, says, my daughter or my son is on a new trip now. Keep Shabbos. Just, a little trip. Fading, or maybe 2-3 Shabbos. I know it already. 5 Shabbos. He's wearing a yarmulke. He likes it. How long will it last, He did a lot of things in his life. Okay, listen to me, my beautiful friend. Just bear this in mind and let's go one step further. Hold back. On the day when Avraham Avinu passed away from the world, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and Esav have this first unbelievable encounter in the Torah, right? And you know what Esav says, why he doesn't want the blessings? He says one word, Hine anoicha haylach lomos. He says, I'm going to die. He says, whatever happens in the world doesn't last. We need. He says to Yaakov, if I, Esav, would turn on to your nonsense, right? Your Yiddishkeit, how long will it last? Okay, I'll receive the blessing from Yitzchak and I'll be a Chassidish Yid for 1 year. That's it. Everything dies. He says to Yaakov, you're stupid. Nothing lasts in the world. And again, listen to me. All the rabbis know that on Purim, Haman is admitting to Yaakov, Esav is admitting to Yaakov that the brachos belong to him. And again, let me explain more because I want you to listen to this awesomeness. We don't know the difference in between Baruch Mordcha and Baruch Haman. How can you say Baruch Haman? What did he do to deserve the blessing? You know something? On Purim, Haman admits to Yaakov that he deserves the blessing. And call him a Baruch Mordcha. If you bless somebody else, you get also. And here I want you to open your heart even 2 million miles to. You know what the end of the story of Purim is? The end of the story is that the Ne'vonav shall Haman lom the Torah Nebrak. The great grandchildren of Haman are learning Torah Nebrak. You know what that means? That means Haman admits there is one thing which lasts forever. I don't last forever. Germans don't live forever. Russians don't live forever. The PLO don't live forever. Us Yidden are here forever. And here I want you to open your heart again, friends. And just bear with me. Every Yom Tov is exactly 24 hours. After the Yom Tov is over, that's it. And, the Satmar Rebbe has Shalashudis for 4 more hours, but eventually it's the end. Do you know that Purim is the only holiday which is endless? And basically, not only it's endless, the real Purim only begins after it's over, basically. Because Purim, I celebrate that it's non-stop. That nothing in the world can stop me. Not even God's calendar. Not the moon, not the sun, not nature. Nothing in the world can stop me. Nothing in the world. And if I'm Purim Day, if I'm on the highest level, I say, Rabbi Shem, Master of the world, I know according to you, according to the world, to the Torah of the world, it's another day, not in my calendar. I'm almost beyond time and space. And everybody knows that the real Purim begins only after night. Because the whole thing of Purim is I'm celebrating that it lasts forever. So Haman also, okay, one day I last. I know one Shabbos week. One day you'll wear yarmulke. One day. And here I want you to know, everybody knows, and we're going through it again. Children, until we teach them that nothing lasts, they mamish believe everything lasts forever. Children, when they love you forever. Children, when they do something, it's forever and ever and ever and ever. They cannot even imagine, and their holy little heads. They just, why should you stop? What's there to stop about? Only later on, suddenly, sadly enough, us, there have been some We went through so many disappointments in our lives. And I want you to know one thing. Everything in the world stops. You know, you can divorce your wife. You cannot divorce your children. You know why? You can't get another Rebbe, right? Children you can. Because the holiness of children is, children mamish defy home, children defy death. And you know, when God says to Chava, you're going to have a hard time having children, you know what he means? Mamish, I see you're really like a little of a snake freak. You believe in good and evil. You're into death, right? You're giving lectures on death, right? He says, not to see your children. Mamish. And I want you to know something, sweetest friends. Purim is so good. And again, in a nutshell, and I come back to it. What's the first sign of death, Chas v'shalom? A little bit in a relationship with people, right? I love you when I see you. The moment you walk out from the door, I don't remember you. When I see you, you're my greatest friend. The next day, I can't remember your name. Right? Shlachmonos I'm sending, not face to face, to let you know you think I only love you when I look at you. When you're not there. For me, you're always alive. For me, you're always there. And I want you to know something. You know, but in the Megillah, God's name is not even mentioned. You know why? A lot of people have a God attack when there's a big God revelation. You know, I was high on God, like someone told me. It's cute and sweet, right? What do you do when you don't see God, right? What do you do when you eat a piece of herring? What do you do when you read an ordinary story? Achashverosh falling in love with a Jewish girl, and she has an uncle. It's an ordinary story. Does God exist for you also? Gewalt, right? And friends, Purim, the whole idea of Purim not being a Yontif is, or what do you do when God is not so manifest? On Yom Kippur, Mamish, you don't have to be so holy, Mamish, you see God, right? On Yom Kippur, it's obvious there's one God. On Purim, it's only obvious. But you see what it is, Purim. If you're on the Roman side, it's nothing, right? Because it's not much of a holiday. You don't even have to go to shul, you don't have to do anything. But if you're real, it's the highest. If you really know that the whole thing of Yiddishkeit is, Ki v'shem kodshro nishbatu loi, shleich b'ner loi nemot. The whole idea of Yiddishkeit is, whatever I do is forever. Forever that's something. And here, I want to start from here. I don't know if it's true, and I don't know if I'm saying the right thing. If it's wrong, you don't stop. I had this tremendous flash last week. Why is Moshe going up for 40 days? I mean, in God's presence, what is he learning more 40 days than in 1 second? 40 days. And again, you know what would be so special? Because if he would have saved the 40 days, he would have never made the golden calf. If Moshe Rabbeinu would have gone up for 1 second, he would have come back, and everything would have been okay. I want to say a Gewalt Torah again. Maybe I'm wrong. I want to say the saddest Torah in the world. Moshe Rabbeinu had to stay up 40 days, also because of Amalek. Because Amalek defied our hearts so much that sadly enough, the only Torah which Moshe Rabbeinu could bring down to the world is the Torah of learning. Learning takes time. And even Moshe Rabbeinu in heaven was 40 days learning. See here, friends, I want to say the most mind-blowing Torah, and again, if I'm wrong. Why is it everything is always man, right? The only redemption which was Mordechai and Esther is Purim. I want to say a Gewalt Torah. When it comes to the Torah of learning, women don't have to learn. It's beautiful if they learn, but they don't have to. And let's not go into that, it's not important. The Torah which would take only 1 second, the Torah of Purim, which is the Torah which Moshe Rabbeinu would have received if it wouldn't have taken 40 days, is men and women the same. So it's Mordechai and Esther. It is Mordechai and Esther. Because the Torah of Purim is, it's not learning, it's deeper than learning. God shines into my heart. There's so much awesome, there's so much holiness. It's not one word. I'm drunk, I can't even say one word Torah. And Gewalt, Kima, the Kiblo, Gewalt, I'm receiving God's word in the deepest, deepest, deepest way. In the deepest way. And I want you to know something, my sweetest friend, really. You know, whatever I know about God, this is how much I know about people. Or whatever I know about people, that's how much I know about God. You know, friends, what kind of a world we're living in? It takes so long to know each other. It takes 40 days of Mount Sinai until we know a little bit about each other. It's all because of one. If we even wouldn't have met Amalek and the Torah would have said, "V'ahavta l'racha kamocha," we would know each other in so much deeper way. We would have known each other in the deepest, deepest, most awesome, gewalt, different way. So I'm sending you shlachmonis not face to face to let you know. You know the way I know you on Purim? It's not the way I know you now. I have to know your face. I know when you were born. I know what your name is. I know all the things about you. I know you in a different way. I know you in a completely different way. And again, friends, I want you to know something. How do you know your children? You know when children are angry at you, then you only know them on the level of Mount Sinai after 40 days. Because children want you to know them on the level of Purim. Children want you to know them like that Torah, which is beyond. And I want you to know the deepest depths. Why is that parents have the privilege of giving names to their children? Because in order to know a person on the level of 40 days, they need a name. But the way God, mamish, the awesomeness, when God gives us the greatest gift of children, God gives us an unbelievable thing that we know them deeper than anything in the world. And here, I want you to open your heart in the deepest way. There is one person in the world who's most anti-Homan, right? Because Homan is death and the Yanovi lives forever, right? So who will bring peace between parents and children, Beit Hashem, tomorrow night or tonight? Elianovi, right? It says Elianovi bring peace. Listen how it's supposed to. What's Elianovi telling parents about children? Or children about parents which they don't know? Gewalt. He's going to teach us that Torah. That deepest Torah in the world, which has nothing to do with his name. Gewalt. And here I want you to know the deepest, deepest Torah in the world. You know, my beautiful friends, say tonight our children asking us Manishtana, and between you and me, if I may say so, Manishtana is most probably the deepest, deepest Torah in the world. And everybody knows all the Rebbes, with all the Torahs and after the Torahs, the way they were crying when they said Manishtana was most awesome in the world. Right? I heard that the Holy Triska Magid, when he said Manishtana was awesome. You know what it is? Well, why is Elianovi coming at the end of the Seder? Because I want you to know, to understand Manishtana, to understand what your children are really asking you. You can only understand it if you know the Torah of Elianovi. If you know your children on the Elianovi level, if you know your children on this deepest depths, beyond everything. So here, my child is asking me Manishtana, and I'm trying to answer. Elianovi comes at the end and says, "Listen, brother, let me tell you something. You don't even know what he's asking. You don't know what he's asking, but after Elianovi tells me who needs a question, right? Gewalt Mashiach is coming. Okay, let me just add one more thing. And you want to say something right now? Not yet. Okay. I want to say Gewalt Torah. Then again, one more thing. Friends, why is it when something is happening in 4 weeks, I don't jump out of my skin now? You know why? Because the question is, who knows what will happen? Right? I'm so surrounded by Molech, he always tells me, Chas v'sholem, it's the end, who knows how long you live, right? So, when it happens, I'll be happy. But Purim, when Mamish Amayfat Molech, I know now, by the Shem, I swear to you, of the world, I'll be there Purim. I know now, in 4 weeks, I'll be dancing like that. In 4 weeks from now, I'll receive the Torah the deepest way. I want you to know something, sweetest friends. Something else. You know why we sleep at night? Because how do you know? How do you know you'll be there tomorrow, right? So sad enough, every night is a little bit of a letdown. Every night is a letdown. You know why the night is so dark? Because every day I waited for so many things to happen today and they didn't happen today. I'm sure they won't happen tomorrow either. All night, you know why I can't go to sleep? Because I know I'll be there tomorrow. Gewalt, I know I'll be there tomorrow. The children will be there tomorrow. Or the Yidden will be there tomorrow. You know one more very deep thing. You know, friends, when I see somebody else doing wrong, why do I talk so badly? How do you know? Maybe tomorrow they'll do tshuva. What do you know? Basically, the Gemara says, the Gemara says, if they see somebody doing that bad, don't talk about it because I'm sure he did tshuva. Why doesn't the world accept it? Because the world is so much chas v'sholem into death. Listen, I saw you doing an Rabbi yesterday, that's 100%. If you did tshuva, I don't know. And who knows how long you're going to live, and how long you'll be Jewish, the way you act, who knows, right? But imagine if I'm sure you live forever. Then I swear to you, okay, even today you didn't do tshuva, you do tshuva tomorrow. You know when the Holy Temple was destroyed because we hated each other, we say bad things about each other? And I want you to know the Beis HaMikdash, obviously, Mochan Hashem Tkufach. The Beis HaMikdash, what's the difference, friends, between davening in the whole world and davening by the Holy One? Please open your heart and just a bit more energy, I'll finish in a minute. Or maybe I won't. No, I won't finish, right?
Non-stop.
Non-stop. On the fire morning. Friends, open your hearts. When I daven in New York or anywhere in the world, I daven for 2 hours. Even with all my concentration, I daven for 2 hours. When you daven 1 minute by the Holy Wall, it's a lifetime. It's 100 lifetimes. It's not a minute. Mamash, when you stand before God by the Holy Wall, you stood there forever. Mochan Shivta v'Pa'alta Hashem Geval Hashem Lot Oidemot. The Beis HaMikdash, what's the difference between a house and a hotel? Hotel, you're one night. A house is forever, right? You know what it means to be in exile? To be in exile means we lost the sense of forever and ever. We have it, not forever. What's the matter? You don't do that?
No, he said it.
Oh, okay. Well, please make it fast before I take my turn. I forgot it, please. I just need, could you please be quiet? Every noise may take away all concentration. Sorry, what?
Exile forever and
Oh,
ever.
thank you so much. There's one good friend here. Thank you so much. You know, friends, I want you to know something. Sometimes you come to Eretz Yisrael and you see people, and while they are in Eretz Yisrael, and they could be the biggest big shots, they don't have the sense of Eretz Yisrael as ours forever, right? And then you meet a Bush to eat, a little Yidler who's selling pizza on the street in Netanya. And I don't know what, Gewalt, but he swears to me that Eretz Yisrael is there forever, right? He may not be so frum, but he's out of exile. And the other Yidler might be very frum, but he's still in exile. Friends, I want you to know something. This is the deepest thing in the world. Why is it when we cry we close our eyes? You know, twice we close our eyes. When we kiss somebody we close our eyes. When we cry, Rabbi Nachman is long Torah. Because the tear, the moment, the split second the tear is coming out, you have to close your eyes. Open your hearts, friends. When we kiss somebody, we close our eyes. When we cry, Rabbi Nachman is long Torah. Because the tear, the moment, the split second the tear is coming out, you have to close your eyes. Why do we cry so much over the Beis HaMikdash? The Beis HaMikdash was not a 1 minute shot. The Beis HaMikdash is not something which happened 2,000 years ago and then it's over. It hurts us forever and ever. Hurts us forever. And you know what real joy is, friends? Joy is also only that which lasts forever and ever and ever. And you know, my sweetest friends, why is all the joy, all the holidays, is not limitless, infinite, intoxicating? Because we're in exile. I know right now I'm happy because it's Yom Tov. Who knows what I'll do tomorrow? Always so much being afraid it won't last. I want you to know, Tanis Esther is mamish when I get all my tears together. Divrei hatzomes v'zakosim. And you know, friends, my whole life I never poured out my heart before God like I should. Because when something wrong happened to me, I only cried like it is for the moment. I was ashamed to tell God it hurts me forever. I want you to know, between friends, between people, when somebody hurts you, and someone says, okay, forgive me. It's all cute and sweet. Do you know that you hurt me forever and ever and ever? Forever and ever and ever. Sometimes people hurt you for Wednesday afternoon. Sometimes people hurt your soul forever and ever and ever. When do you fix that? I want you to know the deepest thing is Lachmanis, I'm sending it to you, not face it. And I'm telling you, if I chas v'shom, if I ever hurt you, on such a level that it lasts forever, which is not face to face, beyond me, please forgive me. And I want you to know, Tanis Esther, by all the holidays, for all the fast days, it doesn't say, Divrei hatzomes v'zakosim, you have to cry like mad. You fast. You know when I cry like mad? When it hurts me forever. And this is so deep. So listen to me, friends. Tanis Esther is a fixed thing of all the things I'm telling God which hurts me forever now. And here I want to open something very deep for you. If something hurts me for the moment, then the only way of fixing it, I forgive you, so it's over. Everybody knows Purim is Yom Kippur. It's a little bit like Purim. It's not as hard. You know, friends, if I would know that I hurt God's feelings forever, so what's their forgiveness? What's their forgiveness? It's forever and ever. You know, the only way, if I hurt your feelings forever and ever, the only way is by bringing you joy forever and ever. There is no in between, because it has to be eternity. So remember, Shlachmonos, I'm sending two gifts. One gift is, if I chas v'sholem hurt your feelings forever and ever, I'm sending you another little gift to bring you joy forever and ever. And again, friends, I want you to know, children, they know what forever and ever means. And here I want you to know the deeper steps. You know why we're losing so much of our children? Because we always think children have a short memory. You hurt them, you hit them, you yell at them. And I sometimes hear mothers talk. She doesn't remember. From 1 minute to the other. Gewalt, her father did from the Yanovi, father did from the child. Yeah, you and all creeps, you don't remember from 1 minute to the other. Children, remember everything. Children, remember everything. And the deepest question in the world is, whenever you yell at your children, would you yell forever and ever for them? It's not worth it, right? So if you wouldn't yell forever, don't yell, because when you yell at them, it's forever. You know, there's a Torah from Rabbi Nachman which changed my whole life personally. Rabbi Nachman says, whatever you think you can bring about with yelling, believe me, you can bring it about with beautiful words much faster. You know, so often, Chas v'sholem, you know, and so-called social pressure, people always tell me, you have to yell at your children, you know this. And sometimes I think maybe they're right, but then Baruch Shem God opens my eyes and I think, I'd rather go to hell because they didn't yell enough than go to hell for yelling. Because the hell for not yelling will be pureness. The hell for yelling is devour. And I want you to know something, friends. I'm talking about children, but I mean you and I. When do we stop being children? We never stop being children. You know what the holy thing about Purim is? Purim is it's clear to me. It is clear to me. I want to say a Torah that it's completely, I'm sure wrong, but everybody's saying why we call Bnei Yisrael and the whole Torah children of Israel, and why we call Yehudim in the Megillah. And again, minutes connect. I want to say, when they are adults, Bnei Yisrael is, some is 13, they're Shi'ur, some is 13, some is 60, some is 20. These are the children of Israel. Yidden is all one, from one day old till 2,000. We all are one day old. And here I want you to know the deepest step. Why was Mordechai called Mordechai Yehudi? Everybody knows the Medrash says that Esther was in the house of Ahasuerus for 9 years, and Mordechai went every day to ask her how she feels. He didn't miss one day. And in all the Chassidish form, it's a devour. You know, you get tired. You know, children are never tired of the same thing. When I read the story for Dari, I read it 3 times. She wants to hear it right away again. And I read it last night 4 times. Tonight she wants me to read it there 5 times. How come I'm so creepy and old? Because I'm not a Yid anymore. Maybe I'm B'nai Yisrael, yeah. One of the children of Israel. Keep the Torah. But a Yid is something for whom the world is new every second. It never happened before. It's the first time. Everything. Okay, I just want to tell you this. I said the Gewalt Torah last week. Moshe Rabbeinu, if you remember last Parsha V'ata Tetzaveh, Moshe Rabbeinu's name is not mentioned in the whole portion. And everybody's asking why was Moshe Rabbeinu's name not mentioned? And the answer is because Moshe Rabbeinu said to God, the coming Parsha about the golden calf. And God says to Moshe, okay, I'll wipe out all the Jews and you'll be the only one left. You're the only religious Jew. You're the only one who I can trust. The rest, I don't have to tell you, they're not so religious, they're not so frum, you know. And imagine Moshe Rabbeinu would have said yes. You think Moshe Rabbeinu would have stayed alive? Because the acid test of a real Jew is if someone says to you, and here I have to share with you an unbelievable beautiful story. A Heilige Kuzma walked into this medrash who was night when you're supposed to be learning. He walked in, everybody was drinking beer. So the Kuzma didn't say anything. He said, oh, I'm so thirsty for beer. You know, because they don't want to look at the shame that drink beer, but the Rabbi said, also wants beer. He sat down, talked with them, ate some cheesecake and everything. And after they sat all down at the feet, and I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you something. Moshe Rabbeinu came down and he saw all the Jews made the golden calf. And he broke the tablets, if you remember. Moshe Rabbeinu says to God, you want me to be the only good Jew in the world? I refuse. I refuse to be the only good Jew. You know, friends, I want you to know something. Everybody's asking, Moshe Rabbeinu is so holy, and it says, God, if you wipe out the Jews, wipe out my name also. And therefore God says, okay, I wipe out your name. Does it make sense? And everybody's talking about it 100 ways. Have a good purim. Listen to me, sweetest, and I'll make it very fast. Just give me energy for 2 more minutes. You know what struck me? Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Mechenino misifrecho asher kosafti." Wipe me out from the Torah you wrote down. You know what Moshe Rabbeinu says? The whole Torah I told you before. Moshe Rabbeinu says, you know why they made the golden calf? Because he told me to come up to Mount Sinai to write down the Torah. If the Torah would shine into their hearts, in 1 second, if you would have lifted them up to the Torah of Purim, which cannot be written down, which is Mashiach's Torah, then you wouldn't have to do the whole thing. So I want you to know parasht Tetzaveh is always a parsha of Purim, or Purim katan at least. You know what God says to Moshe? Okay, I'll give you one parsha in the Torah which is written down, but it's really not written down. What's the light of the Torah? The light of the Torah is that light which cannot be written down. Friends, I want you to open your heart for one second. What is light? Sometimes you hear something and you know it, and sometimes you know it and it's shining into you in the deepest way. Is it more words? It's something else. So this Shabbos, God gives over to Moshe, V'ata Tetzaveh b'nei Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu Mamish brought down to heaven. Whenever Yidin Chas v'Sholem Haman is coming, he wants to wipe out the Jew, personally or all the Jews. Mamish the Yid is by the end. You don't even have time to learn, and even if you want to learn, you don't know the words. Mamish Moshe Rabbeinu comes and he shines into you. V'ata Tetzaveh b'nei Yisrael. Friends, everybody here knows, we all know, you know, this Gewalt. In our generation, Moshe Rabbeinu is shining into every Jew in the deepest way. Moshe Rabbeinu is shining into us. Not only he shines into us, next Shabbos we read Moshe Rabbeinu is lifting us up. Moshe Rabbeinu Mamish makes us stand straight again. You know, friends, we are bowing down to all the idols of the world. We're afraid of this one, we're afraid of this one, we're afraid of our father, our mother, of our rabbis. We're afraid of everyone in the world. So this coming Shabbos, Moshe Rabbeinu is Mamish, lifts up our head. Don't bow down. You have to bow down to anyone. And those 2 Shabbos are always this Purim. Last Shabbos, Mamish, the Torah of Mashiach, the Torah of Eliyahu Novi. It's a Torah of Aaron HaKohen Mamish. Me'erav ad boiker, remember the Medrash says, Me'erav ad boiker, the whole time of the goal is till Mashiach is coming. Friends, I want to bless you that we should have a taste of that awesome Torah, of this deep Torah. And friends, you know, sometimes there are moments when you can give this Torah over to your best friend, this one apple, this one piece of cake. It's not learning. It's deeper than learning. It's the deepest Torah in the world. It's the deepest Torah. And just in a nutshell, I want you to know that the man under the chuppah says so much Torah. He says 4 words or 5 words. The woman doesn't say anything. Because if you remember, I told you at the beginning, the woman basically heard Torah because she is bringing children into the world. She knows that the Torah of Mount Sinai I won't reach far. I need for my children, I want the Torah which is not written down. Gewalt. I want the Torah which you can give over with one piece of cake.
I got just a little appendage I want to hook on to what Rabbi and Shlomo were talking about. You know that everyone wants to know basically, what do I need in order to grow spiritually? That's our question. What does Yiddishkeit have to tell me about my potential to grow spiritually? Now I learned this week a teaching from Rav Kook that was just published. I don't know if you saw the Alphabet Torah. From Rav Kook.
Yeah, I bought it. I didn't bought it. Talk about, yeah.
He says that one way of approaching that question is by assuming that there has to be an analogy between what we need for our physical development to what we need for our spiritual development. Now, if you reduce it to its various essentials, in order to live in the world, in order to survive, you need 2 things. Number 1, you need food. And number 2, you need air. Food and air. Can you think of anything else? Everything else is secondary. The essentials are food and air. And Rav Kook says that food you need because supposing my physical body would not be fed, simple, it would shrink, would become emaciated. Air doesn't have to do with the size of my body, but air has to do with life. If I don't breathe, my body becomes little size. So Rav Kook says spiritually also, my neshama, my soul, although it isn't physical, but my soul also has a structure. As a matter of fact, in Kabbalah it says that the physical, our physical gestalt, is a kind of mirror of spiritually the way our neshama, our soul looks. And so for my neshama also, I need food and I need air. Now, what do you think is the food of my soul? So this is what Rav Kook says. The food of my soul has to do with eating kosher, putting on tefillin, praying 3 times a day, keeping Shabbos. But you know what we call, in a simple word, we call the ritual. It's 613, the commandments, the Torah. The Torah is the map for my neshama's 3 meals a day. You know what happens to me if I'm not doing the Torah like my Zayda and my Baba, like from waking up in the morning till going to sleep at night, my soul becomes Meshiach. I may not see it, I may not recognize it, but I am denying food to my soul. But then there's something else. Even if you have all the food in the world, intravenous, but if there is no air that's going into your system, you know what's going to be? Limp. It's a corpse. Sometimes, and I'm going to drive the point home, sometimes people ask me, I'm sure you've heard this question too, they say, how come I meet these Orthodox Jews and they have absolutely no spirit to them? And if being Jewish is what infuses a person with spirit, with spirituality, how do you explain these people? The answer is, whoever these people may be, food is half the story. Besides food, you need air. And Rav Kook says, you know what the air of the Torah is? You know what the air of being Jewish is? It's not the doing and the not doing. The air, and I'm going to use the words of Rav Kook, the air is the secrets of the Torah, the insights of the Torah. It's like Shlomo was speaking about before, the Torah that you give over with a piece of cake. Or like David was saying before, the Torah that comes not through words, but through silence. If I keep Shabbos technically 100% okay, I've put food into my neshama. But if I taste the bliss of Shabbos, you know what I'm putting into my neshama? Not food. I'm putting air into my system. In terms of what we're learning in the Pasha and the Torah these weeks, in the desert for 40 years, you know what Moshe Rabbeinu was teaching us Jews? We were learning about the Torah as it pertains primarily to food. For 40 years, you eat this, you don't eat this. You do this, you don't do this. Moshe Rabbeinu in the desert was giving us manna, the spiritual food. You know what happens to us when we came into the land of Israel? The land of Israel isn't food. The land of Israel is not the food of my soul, it's the air of my soul. It's what I need after my spiritual body has already been built out, after I've been fattened, right? After I've been completed. So I have a physical body that's fully developed, all 613 limbs, right? But then the question is, do I know how to dance? Do I know how to run? Do I know how to jump? So for that, I need the air of the land of Israel. Because the Gemara says, interestingly enough, outside of the land of Israel, my food is kosher food. I can buy OU food, even at the most, far out places in America. You go into a small town in North Dakota, you go into a little grocery store, you have OU cookies and matzah and even Carlebach, right? But you know what I don't have outside the land of Israel? I don't have a full measure of the joy of being eating. I don't have the air. The air is specially connected to the land of Israel. Anyway, I just want to conclude maybe by connecting it to Purim. On Purim, we are giving each other food, right? We are sending to each other little gifts, shalach manos. We are giving each other food. And I'm just thinking to myself, maybe the day after Purim, like Shlomo was saying before, Purim is never ending. The night of Purim, the night after, maybe what's happening to me is I'm beyond food, and I'm already inhaling the air, right? The avira, the air that's going to make us, wherever we are, whoever we are, know how to not just be Jewish, but to vibrate Jewishly, right? To move Jewishly, to be infinitely and eternally Jewish. Aerogram.
You want to say goodbye? First of all, friends, could have you just 1 second. The whole time it's so deep in my mind that Mamish Purim is the greatest fixing in the world, right? The greatest fixing. And Purim, I'm sending Shlachmonos, I'm sending to my friend Mamish Purim from Eitachai. Simple as it is. Mamish straight from Eitachai. And it's even deeper than the manna from heaven, because remember, Moshe Rabbeinu, manna from heaven is from the 40 days that we make the golden calf. And the Torah of Purim is the Torah which Moshe Rabbeinu would have received. Amalek wouldn't have come before him. So I just want to tell you that Ali said there, right? You can't see it, right? So it's not face to face. But Mamish the Simcha and well. I want to say just one more thing, like the more we begin to say, the more you're alive, the more you are alive, the more Mamish sensitive you are, the more you feel. You understand? Before why Purim Kotten, Purim is so much alive, and they almost that I even feel Purim Kotten. Pesach Kotten I don't feel. But Purim I'm so much alive, that I feel the smallest thing in the world. I want to say something very deep. You know why we don't even feel each other's needs? Because we're so dead. I want you to know, Stoker Anim, the Stoker of Purim, is a different kind of stuff. Different kind of stuff. What do we do? What? So Shlachmonos is mamish like, Shlachmonos is Eitachai. And Stoker, who knows? Stoker is mamish on the level of the way God created the world. Stoker Tehillim. And I just want to bless you. I hope we'll see each other before Purim, but on Purim mamish. Friends, I want you to do something. When you send Shlachmonos, when you receive Shlachmonos, you fix each other's life forever and ever and ever and ever. I just have to repeat the title of the story which I told some of us, so maybe someone wasn't here. The Heilige Shlomo said the highest Purim night he had was the night of the Purim. It was Purim, the night of the Purim. And there was only one apple and one piece of cake. And the language it says to the Holy Kabrina, she would say that Moshe gives it to her and and the Shlomo says back to the Kabrina, do we say to keep this in the language? And the language says to the Shlomo, Abraham, I give this to Moshe. So he says, this apple and this piece of cake circled around them all night long. But it says, each time I received it, it fixed my neshama and the neshama for my children to Mashiach. What do? And friends, at Stoker we do mamash on Purim, just Stoker, and friends, I want you to know, it's not only, we have to give money to the poor, sometimes some people just need support, some people need one good word, I don't know what they need. I want you to know, friends, on Purim we have to be so sensitive. And I just want to add something, obviously this year God wants of us a better Purim. Because God wants us to prepare ourselves 6 weeks for Purim, six weeks for the Shabbat. And, maybe ordinary on Purim, I think Stokers will give somebody $5. And maybe this year will be so sensitive, especially Purim Cotton. Purim good means that I'm aware of the smallest thing in the world. Smallest thing in the world. I just want to share something which comes to my head. Friends, everybody knows, I don't know where the message is, but there has to be something, that obviously when God says don't kill, doesn't mean just take a knife and kill someone. Okay, everybody knows the Medrash says, in not killing also includes don't hurt somebody's feelings, don't put somebody to shame. All those of the Zeraya, remember we're learning, I don't know where the Medrash is, but I'm sure it's somewhere. Ignoring somebody is also killing. Ignoring somebody. Or not giving somebody as much covet honor or as much as courage as they need. And you remember we're learning it, Amalek, what Amalek does, Amalek takes away from us the courage. We're Mount Sinai, we said we bring the shear, and Amalek takes away from us all the courage. So I just want to bless you and me, especially our children. And here, I just want to share with you, I'm sure you know it anyway, when there's a bris, Avraham Avinu is coming, and there's Yanovim. Avraham Avinu is coming to make a Jew out of you. And the Yanovim is coming to give you courage to do it right. That's something. And the Gam Chavoin is also a third, Gebal Purim is forever, we're learning the whole time, I just want to bless you. And you know what it is? When you send Shlachmonas, you mamish swear to each other. You love each other forever. I just want to add one more thing very important. When do you talk evil about another person? Not face to face, right? They're not around. So when you send Shlachmonas, not face to face, you know what you're telling each other? I swear to you, I'll never say anything better than you. I swear to you. I'll support you even when you're not face to face. Anyway, friends, just so good to be together. I don't know how much Purim cotton celebrations are there tonight in New York, but I'm sure very few in the world. Because I met so many people and rabbis in the last 3 weeks, outstanding rabbis. I asked them, what do you do for Purim cotton? What am I supposed to do? And you know what it is, I tell you, you know what's so crazy today? You know, whatever you do, you always put on God, right? People are so afraid of something new which is bad, so they're afraid to add something new which is beautiful. Anyway, we got to go one more dance, but Mama's like, man, it was sweet, but not Purim thing. I think it was like maybe Wednesday night or something. Let's go, Moshe. Let's go.